Okay, here we are for another standard 8-man queue. Gonna see kind of how it shapes up this time. Looks like we are here for the first round, and we'll see what we're up against here soon. I do like this opening hand, and let's take a look and see what we're up against. So finally a match here against either red-green aggro or Naya. Excited to see kind of how the deck handles here against one of the more mainstream decks that we'll be up against. So we're going to go ahead and save the collar just so we can get value out of Puresteel. Could very well be red-green aggro. At this point, we really want to set up our Puresteel. We want to have our turn 3 Blade Splicer online. I think what we could do is we could just go ahead and drop Fortress to ensure the turn 3 Splicer. Otherwise, we can go ahead and drop down Spellskite so we can start protecting Puresteel. I think I kind of rather would have Splicer on 3 for sure, though, just because he doesn't really have any pressure on the table yet, and we don't have Mortar Pod to complete the combo just yet, so we're not in any hurry to get Puresteel on the board. Alright, so now we can go ahead and drop down Splicer, start getting the beats in. He could have removal for Splicer, but I think even if he does, we're fine. Okay, and if he wants to spend his time dismembering my Golem tokens, I am just fine with that. Alright, so now I think our plan is to drop down Puresteel and Spellskite to kind of set up for next turn. Start getting more value. We could also just go ahead and drop Trinket Mage in this turn in case he has like the Bonfire, but then we're not quite as mana efficient, so I'd rather go Puresteel Spellskite here instead. And thank God we played Spellskite first. It's a good habit to get in the habit of. Opponent's still stuck on land. I think here we want to go ahead and run out the first collar, see what we draw, and then depending on the draw, Trinket Mage into the second collar. And that's the game. Okay. Alright, so almost certainly this is going to be red-green aggro instead of Naya, just because red-green, I believe, runs the Dismember. Let's double check. I believe it does run Dismember. They may both run Dismember, so I'm not sure if it's red-green aggro. Could be Pod. Either way, we want to bring in the Grafdigger's Cage. And against red-green, we're bringing in Purge for sure. Bringing in, I believe actually we bring in the entire sideboard up against red-green aggro. So, bring in the board cards that we're taking out. Let's have a look. So, Gather not that good against Bonfire. We're going to be sort of moving away from the collar combo plan. Puresteel not as strong for moving away from that. So I think we're going to keep in the staff, cut the collars, and I believe, just because he has targeting effects with the the land, image is not as strong. Then I think we shaved one Trinket Mage, so we're down to the Grafdigger's Cages and the Life Staff. Yeah, it might be right to take out Life Staff and get a third Trinket Mage here, but I think it's better to have access to Life Staff also. But yeah, so our matchup against red-green is a Transformation sideboard. So he's going to be bringing in a lot of like Artifact, Hate, Ancient Grudge, most likely Crushing Vines. And not too excited with his opening hand, so I'm going to throw this one back. Have a lot of power here, but not enough land. We really want to be able to hit 4 land, so... And got to go down to 5. 5 is a lot better than 6 or 7, that's for sure. It looks like this game. Well, it's too bad we have the... I think here, just because we would have this come into play, you know, untapped anyways, I think we want to go ahead and drop the Glacial Fortress, just in case we want to be able to play like a turn 2 Elite Inquisitor if we draw the land. Just gives us more options than just playing Island here. And it turns out it did not matter, but you know, those few times when it does matter, you want to make sure you're making the right play. So I guess it is Naya. So I confused it there, and it was Naya that runs the Dismember, and I think red-green just runs like Pillar, perhaps. But I think the sideboard plan is almost identical. So we really need some action here to get back into this game, to get our own Blade Splicer online. We have probably about one more turn before we just get completely overrun. If he attacks his Splicer, we're definitely blocking. Since he doesn't have Restoration Angel mana up, we want to make sure that does not happen. Happily trading Champion for Splicer. Okay, and that was not the card we needed. I think we might just be dead here. We might potentially be able to stabilize one more turn if he has like a bad draw. And unfortunately that's not going to do it. So since we're up against Naya, let's double check and make sure our sideboard plan is sound. You know, against Naya, Image is actually much better, so I think Image probably goes back in, so we can copy his Blade Splicers. He's still running Bonfire, so not as sold. I think we do need the third Trinket Mage just to make sure we shut down Pod, in addition to Green Sun and all that shenanigans. Life Staff is good here, but I don't know exactly what we want to be doing. It's kind of more important against red-green, less important against Naya. What else do we want to shave? Negate is still there for Bonfire and Pod. We potentially could shave down to like 1 Negate just because I think that with Naya, I'm not sure how many it runs. Like we do want to have Negate for Pod, but I don't know how many Pod they run. It might just be 2 Pod. So I'm not sure about this. You want to run 1 or 2 of the Negates. Let's see. Body and Mind is still very, very good. Body and Mind is a little less good just because they have Angels and Golems. You know, it's still fine, I think, but it's not quite as strong. Fiend Hunter, you still want these guys. Inquisitor is still good. We might actually go ahead and take out... We might just want to take out Body and Mind. I mean, Body and Mind is fine, but like he's probably bringing in Ancient Grudges, and if we can, you know, kind of make those cards a little bit more useless, I don't know. I mean, not sure about the cuts here. We could potentially also cut Champion. Champion's fine, I guess. I think, you know, with Angel and with, you know, Splicer, Body and Mind is still probably good enough, but maybe not quite as good. This hand is definitely much better. So we're going to be expecting the turn 3 either Angel or Master of the Hunt. So very important that we actually go ahead and take out the problem right now. Okay. And we can name a human, just because we don't want to telegraph that we have Angel and he has no counter magic anyway, so there's no point. Here we could either match him with Splicer, Fiend Hunter his token, Fiend Hunter his Splicer in case he has like the Angel backup. He doesn't have that much removal, so I'm kind of tempted to just, well, I think I actually want to go ahead and Fiend Hunter's token. If we Fiend Hunter his token, then he Angels, you know, and then we can potentially Angel in response to get his other token. I think I'm actually just going to match him token for token here. Not sure what the right play is, but I think that matching tokens is fine. You know, I'm not sure if he has Angel. I know we have Angel, so we can kind of capitalize on that. So he just telegraphed that he has Dismember, which means he's going to try to get a free kill on our Golem, so we're definitely not falling for that plan. Now he's probably sitting on Angel, or I guess the second Splicer. So since we know he has the Dismember, taking out his Splicers is a bit more important, but I think we actually just sit, we bait him with a free kill, and then when he goes for it, then we Restoration Angel our Splicer, get the first strike back, and make the trade. We do take a little bit more damage that way, but I think then we kind of get to outplay him and force the Dismember. So when you have the ability to make your opponent's decisions for them, definitely take advantage of it. Unfortunately, he also happens to have Gavity Township, which is trouble. Yuck. Problem is now he just townships and just gets there. And now he can actually kill our Splicer in response to our Angel. This is just disgusting. So I guess now we just take it and then ugh. I think we just hope he pumps here and we just take 8. Unfortunately, he's going to sit. Now he's going to try to force the Angel and try to get the free kill off of the Dismember. We don't need to give it to him, but at the same time, we kind of have to play Angel here anyways. Like, we kind of have to force it because otherwise you're just going to get too far behind. Otherwise, what we could do is we could just go ahead and, like, Fiend Hunter next turn, copy the Fiend Hunter, and then use Angel later, and not get blown out. Not sure if I want to do that or just have an extra Angel token. I think. So if we force it, then we have an angel and a golem, a useless golem, and then we can copy his splicer next turn and fiend hunter one of his tokens. I think we're behind enough that we have to force it. So now he does the, you know, by forcing his hand here, he doesn't get to pump his team, which I think is worth losing the splicer and the extra golem. So here comes the dismember, okay. And if he weren't as far behind, we wouldn't need it to make that play, but now that we don't have an angel, we want him to think that we do. So we'll telegraph we have an angel. Okay, so what's our plan? I think here we need to either make a copy. Well, you know, we could do this. We could Fiend Hunter one of the golems and then copy the angel, bringing Fiend Hunter back. I kind of like that play. So it really was worth playing the angel for us. Now we could just copy Angel and do it again, or we could just lean in Relic Warder here, but I think copying Angel is more fun and a better play. This way, if he has like Sword of War and Peace or something, we've got something. So he could have Angel here. It's entirely possible. I guess if he has Angel, it's safe to attack with our Angel, because if he doesn't have Angel, then you know we're fine. If he does, we just hit each other's Angels. So he doesn't have Angel now, we know, because if he had Angel, he would have used it. And we don't care at all about Talia. Okay, so he's actually kind of on nothing right now. Very happy to see that. Alright, so now the plan is to Trinket Mage for Grafdigger's Cage, shut down Stranger's Geist shenanigans, and just start bashing. So if we 6 him in the air this turn, don't quite kill him, unless we can get back at... Okay, so actually the amended plan is to get in with both Restoration Angels. We're happy to get in with the Golem after we drop. Well, this will force him to block with Birds of Paradise. I'm not sure if we want to get Trinket Mage to lock out the Stranger Geyser, just to have him sit back. I think we push and kind of, well, I think we're going to go ahead and Trinket Mage, pick up the Grafdigger's Cage, and I mistapped my mana here, unfortunately, so we can't Relic Warder. But I think we're going to save Relic Warder anyways. And since he's got Talia, that's fine. Yeah, so now we bash in. He swings back for how much? He brings everybody. It's like 2, 4, 7, 10, 12. But we have to block 2. So I think we just stay aggressive here and start pushing. mean, like, now he gets in with Talia, and I think we just take it here. Like, we could, like, block and lose Fiend Hunter. Although I suppose if we actually block here, we force him to pump his guys, and actually we tap down one of his birds. I kind of like that play. So we can force his hand a little bit. Or we could even double block here, but then it kind of accomplishes the same goal. I think it's better to just block with Fiend Hunter, force his hand, and then tap down one of his blockers. So now, if we Mortar Pod... Okay, so here's the plan. Mortar Pod, and then equip Trinket Mage, use the Trinket Mage to kill the birds, bash in for 6, next turn kill him. I like that. Because then, let's see, so we hit him for 6, he drops to 1, and he comes back for 4, 7, 9, just a little bit shy of doing it. Yeah. Like, if he's got action in his hand, we're a little in trouble, to be fair. But, I mean, now, anything kills him. If he doesn't have Strangleroot Geister, and even if he does, we still have him. So now we just go ahead and Fiend Hunter his guy, force his hand, and then that should do it. Because now he has like Angel, but even if he has Angel, it doesn't matter. Alright, and that was the match. So, kind of coming out of that game against Naya, we really like some of the changes we've made to the deck. One of the things which I think has really been helping is just, you know, being able to have access to 4 Fiend Hunters. It's so good with the Restoration Angel. And especially as we shift kind of out of the combo into Game 2, it really can, you know, provide us with a very strong sideboard plan. But we will see you for round 2.